We're on part 11, what's hiding in the belly fat? Hey there, this is Bronwen Oehlschlager. Welcome to my channel, Real and Some Weight Loss, where we are talking about living life free of emotional eating and loving yourself slim. And I've done a study lately where I have uncovered some specific emotions that usually are showing up in the belly fat. So right now, today, we are talking about the 11th thing of 46 that I have discovered that are hiding in the belly fat. So make sure you're subscribing to this channel and hitting that bell because we have more coming. And after that, I'm going to go into other series of places on your body that I discover as well. I'm doing this whole scientific study thing. I'm so excited about it. Today, we are talking about that 11th thing. That thing is swallowing your feelings instead of expressing them. One of my friends one day actually gave me some really good advice about expression. She talked about how instead of holding things down, because I used to hold my feelings down inside my body. In fact, my belly area was the part of my body that I thought would never be what I knew it was underneath all of those layers. She taught me this. She said, just like when you have a cow that is making milk every day, morning and night, that cow needs to express what is in it, or it's painful. And if she will express it, or if somebody will come and help her express it, or if she has calf that will express it, those things can be used for the benefit of the world around her or her baby, the people that love her, that kind of thing. So if we will express our feelings instead of swallowing it down, we can do that in a very positive way. And I recommend thinking of it that way. Expressing your feelings doesn't have to be in anger. It doesn't have to be in frustration. You can actually go back to the beginning where that feeling started. Usually if it's anger or frustration, you can peel that back and note that there was some hurt or some sadness and maybe some fear. And so those are the things that you want to express rather than the anger or the frustration. You want to peel that back and get it out of your way because it's not even real. As far as I'm concerned, anger and frustration are lying to you. You got to drill down and find the real root of those feelings. That's what to express. And when you express those things, you can actually go through the story down into finding the key, the root of the problem, the belief that you were believing that caused you to feel that way in the first place, and then bring it up into a really positive place where you can choose into a new belief. In this case, you may believe that it's safe to express your true feelings before it gets bottled up and turns into an explosive thing. If you just believe that you're safe and you have a safe space, you find a safe person, maybe you find a mentor that's perfect for helping you move through from the story to the real emotion that's really going on in there, to the belief that serves you to create a new emotion. I actually really recommend that. Having a good support system and having a mentor is a really good idea. So remember that. You may go get some counseling from a therapist if that's what you need to do. They may help you move through and give you some tools to help you move through those problems as well. So find the new belief. Express the belief that you were hurting with in the first place, that you piled anger and frustration onto. Always keep it positive. Always find the silver lining around the thing that you are feeling and learn from your experience. And I encourage you to do that. I want to just kind of help you get your head around where these emotions come from. So I'm going to say this again. I've said this before, so if you watch my playlist on the 46 belly fat things, you'll probably hear me say this. If you watch all of them, you'll definitely hear me say this. But let me just explain what my philosophy and how I've studied this out and how it happened with me and how I've seen it happen with other people, how these emotional layers turn into a physical layer over time. So if you're going to express your emotional things, it's going to be one thing at a time over time. Sometimes you might find 5 or 6 things at once. Sometimes you might find 12 things at once. That's okay. You're allowed to do that too. But let's talk about how this came on and how it can come off so that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. That makes it so that you feel like you're not allowed to express. So this goes back to the expression, okay? So what happened was, a long time ago, this emotional person put on an emotion. Let's say you have a stick figure and the emotion shows up like wavy lines around the outside of the body. Okay, so you've got this person that now has some wavy lines around the outside of their body. Then they hold that. They don't express it. And then they have another emotion. Something else happens to them. Some other perception comes into their mind, and they put another layer of emotion around the outside of their body. Well, and then they hold on to that because they didn't express it in a healthy way. Oh, stuff's building up here. Now, something else happens over time, and you got another layer. And as time goes by, with emotional eaters, we are running to the fridge with these emotions. We're trying to, well, I'm not going to claim this anymore. We're trying to recover from this food addiction that we think is going to make us feel better. This quick shot of serotonin that we get from eating food that tastes yummy, when we can go and do a healthier thing that produces the same effect and actually will help us deal with our emotions in a better way without a negative side effect. So that can be exercise, or it can be anything. I mean, not just anything. You want it to be a positive thing that's good for you, but there are a lot of things that you can do that produce serotonin and oxytocin and dopamine so that you can feel good inside. And these are physical things you can do. There are also emotional things that you can do. But let's just go back to this analogy where we've got these emotional layers going on. We've got this individual going to the fridge. If you're identifying, leave a comment. I totally identify. You can say, I identify. And they're running to the fridge and they're putting food in during a time that their body can't use that food. So then those stores go on the outside because your body works right. If you're giving your body food during a time that it can't use it as fuel, your human body says, well, thank you. I'll just put this away as a store of fat because I work right. And we'll use that later. But in our society of abundance, we have a tendency to just continue to put more and more on instead of using those extra stores for something else. And we can do that. We can do that in simple ways. In fact, I encourage you to go get my cheat sheet at realandslim.info so that you can have a better understanding of all of the parts of what I'm talking about. But if you go to food and you're putting on those extra stores over and over and over again, then effectively you're turning those emotional things into a physical layer. And what happens is our bodies want to hold on emotionally to this protection that we put on. So if in any way you believe that your extra stores and these layers are a protection to you, then you can do just about anything and not have results in your body because you're holding on to them really tightly. This happens a lot. I see this story often. So the way to handle that is to do this thing. Instead of stuffing those feelings away and holding on to them and turning them into more extra stores, you want to deal with them, express them, find the root. Get some help if you need it. Have somebody to express to that you can trust. And for some people, that's just God, and for some people, you need a little extra help, a hand to hold, and that's perfect. Go ahead and honor your need, okay? All right, that is what I have. That is what this 11th thing that gets stored in the belly fat is. It's so simple. And I think it's probably key to all of the unraveling. In fact, I feel strongly about this. Definitely express. Don't isolate yourself anymore. Let yourself unlayer emotionally, and then that will show up in a physical way if you're doing all the parts and the emotional and physical parts that it takes to do that. And it's simple. Hey, thanks for watching that video. It's really important stuff. If you want to see what else I have on that playlist of 46 things, click here. If you want to see what YouTube suggests you watch next, click here. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bells because we've got way more coming, and I will talk to you later.